Agitators. Yes, they exist, and they do it to the detriment of many good people. I'm Mark Stewart, Greenstein. I am at the beach where there are many good people in the service industry who help visitors like me and help themselves to better lifestyles by having free commerce. At least it's still free, but getting crimped. The petition that I and others are advocating people sign to make sure voters see it on the ballot and knock down this legislation is to keep free enterprise. Keep the government from imposing its councils and replacing free enterprise. Free enterprise includes labor unions. Okay, I believe in labor unions. I'd like to see them argue for only two things. Those are the high salaries and safety. When they start arguing for gold-plated health care or pensions that most people aren't going to use in the first place, when they start arguing for unworkable work stoppage times, you have to take a break every 4 hours, even when you're still loading for 15 more minutes, you got to stop. When they start to do those extras beyond high wage and workplace safety, they are likely doing it for reasons other than concern for the workers. There's power grabs among union leaders there. Agitators have used workers as a prop. They have used this in the environmental movement as well. We shouldn't have workers being used by those who have other purposes. And here is a clear other purpose in the legislation from September 5th, 2022. It is not to help workers across the full sector. No, it's to punish big businesses. See, the legislation only applies to large franchises, those that nationally have 100 or more outlets. Those are easy targets, okay? They're big. They make lots of money. Their franchisees are all worth $2 million or more. So the McDonald's franchise, the Pizza Hut franchise, the Domino's franchisee, they're easy targets. But workers who work for smaller fast food restaurants, they're not covered by this. Interestingly, why not? Why, if this is so important to the livelihoods and the safety of workers, isn't it truly sector-wide? It's because they're picking on an easy target. People perceive McDonald's as bloated and maybe too fattening and full of people who own and can sustain a hit to their business. Well, they've already sustained some, and some still close. Not many. Most will pass on the price increases. Now, that's a hit on all consumers. Fair enough. But if you get really to the bottom of, do you care for workers, these agitators don't have workers in mind first. Maybe it's secondary, probably it's tertiary, beyond their own gain of power, beyond their own enrichment. I always try to offer a solution. And a solution to people who have low wages is still the free market. Because good work is rewarded. People in fast food restaurants who are there for a year and a half are making more than $20 an hour. A lot of them are promoted to managers within year one. If they are diligent, they show up, they do their work as expected. And so the concern for minimum wage for a 17-year-old kid for whom it's not meant to be a living wage, it is some extra money while you're in school, while you're between semesters, or maybe taking a year off from school. And that is a probably deserved, not so high wage to start, but ask any employer. You get somebody age anything, 16, 17, 18, who shows up, treats customers well, helps you earn money, that young woman or young man can command more money. And I do believe in legal aid agencies to help people realize their worth. But when sectors outside of these small, intimate agencies decide to say, none of you are being treated fairly, that all of you deserve the government's protection, they end up making us not individuals anymore. So as a class, is it right to have everybody have a beach house here? No, work at it. And America provides no impediment to even the fairly recent immigrant to having eventually a nice home in a nice suburb. You might have to start, as almost every other immigrant and even native-born American did, living inland. Okay, not being able to have a beach home. You visit for a couple weeks, as I am right here. America gives you incredible access to the education that gets you hired into a higher level. Community college is virtually free. Your ability to be hired with just a community college at a stepped up level is high. Your ability to be promoted from there is very high over the last few years. And this may sound harsh, but your ability to learn English is not insurmountable. If you have come legally or illegally to America without learning any English, you are making yourself a second-class citizen. Take as a model the first-class citizens, those who might not even be citizens yet, but they're working at it. They come from Central Africa. They come from East Asia. They come from Eastern Europe, and they learn English. And with it, they're instantly more employable. They have an American attitude. If you take a non-American attitude, I just want to punch the clock and go home, deal with my family after 5. I'm not doing any overtime. I'm not learning English. Screw the employer. I'm just getting the hours I have. I don't see you elevating yourself. You are making yourself into a second-class citizen. We're not. We have the ample ability to provide welfare for those who want to work. And that is something I am in favor of. Single moms especially work in the family to do one of the most important things. If they're also working a few hours a week outside the home, I do want to support them with government welfare dollars. I also support any business that prominently tells the rest of its consumers, we do employ every, say, second-year worker at $20 an hour or more. I will go to that business and eschew others to hear that from businesses that I might not be frequenting now. That is a truly free market way to elevate the business and elevate the workers' status. I'm Mark Greenstein.